Hey, let me be totally honest with you for a second. The first time you crank up the M7 sound suite, you feel immediately who this speaker is for. This is for the person who's tired of thin, flat sound coming from tiny speakers and underwhelming setups. You already know what real audio feels like because you've lived with the alternative long enough. Before anything else, go check the current price and stock. Gear this capable tends to move fast. There comes a point where you realize your current audio just isn't cutting it anymore. Maybe it was that moment in a movie when dialogue melted into mush. Maybe it was that game soundtrack that sounded like someone hid everything behind a curtain. Maybe it was that playlist that felt dry instead of immersive. You knew it was time to upgrade when every session left you wanting more than your gear could give. Once you switch to this LG setup, something inside you relaxes in the best way. You stop squinting for detail. You stop leaning in to catch the lyrics. You stop wishing the bass had depth and the highs had clarity. Everything feels present. You hit play, and the room fills with sound instead of just noise. Picture how it fits into your real life. You're watching a show and suddenly the dialogue feels clear and strong, not buried under effects. You're gaming and footsteps, explosions, ambience, it all feels layered and alive. You're hosting friends and that playlist doesn't just play, it moves the room. And you don't have to fuss with connections. Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, AirPlay, Google Cast all just work without a second thought. What sticks with you isn't just louder sound, it's better sound. It's that emotional moment where music feels bigger, movies feel theatrical, and games feel cinematic. That sense of immersion changes how you interact with media. Once you've felt that, going back to weak speakers feels like settling for half of what's possible. Take another look at availability before you start thinking too long. Waiting around usually just means watching price shifts or limited stock decide for you, and that's the kind of regret you don't really want. You might wonder if a speaker like this is worth it. Let me reshape that thought. When the audio becomes part of the experience instead of just background noise, you don't hear the difference, you feel it. That's the real upgrade. Here's something people don't always expect: the relationship you build with your sound. You play music and you actually listen. You watch movies and scenes hit harder. You game and you don't miss a beat. That kind of engagement sneaks up on you, until one day, you realize you can't imagine your setup without it. Sound that feels full and alive, clear dialogue that never strains, immersive bass that fills the room, effortless connectivity that just works, not as portable as tiny Bluetooth speakers. Premium audio comes at a premium cost eventually. You stop bouncing between options and just choose what your instinct keeps circling back to. Don't let this be one of those upgrades you delay and regret later. If you want your audio to finally feel like sound you can live with instead of tolerate, check the price, check the stock, and make the confident choice today. You'll notice the difference the moment you hear it.